All right, welcome to another video by Lame Creations, Log Analysis Made Easy, where our goal is to demystify the process of getting logs into your system and be able to make use of them. In the previous video, we showed how to install Zeek. We have shown how to put Cribl on your Zeek instance to read the files. Now we need to manipulate them because when the logs come in, they're not going to look very good. We want to be able to change that up. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, Data Sources. I'm going to go make sure to capture some of that data so I can manipulate it. So I've got the logs. I'm going to go ahead and let it capture. And I'm going to save as a sample file. And we're going to call this YouTube example.log. We're good. It'll expire in 24 hours. I can make that longer if I want to, but I'm good with that. All right, now that we got that, what we want to do is we want to come do a processing. We've done the routes. We want to do processing. We want to make a pipeline. I made a pipeline called Zeek. I just did add pipeline, create pipeline, and I named it Zeek. I've already put all these in. I don't want to go through the effort to actually put them all in there again. So anyway, what we've got here, that's interesting. That's not the route I was thinking it was. Okay. So if I go and I grab my captured data, I can import the data. Sorry, I don't want to import it. I already got it here. YouTube example log. We've got an in and an out. We can see what this data looks like before it goes through this pipeline and what it looks like after it's gone through the pipeline. Okay, nothing's changed. That's because I'm in the pipeline. My bad. I'm in the routes. I need to go to pipelines, grab the Zeek. There we go. Now we have a whole bunch of things I've added in. We'll go through those. They're not a big deal. Now we can see the data. Okay, what pipeline do I want it to go through? There we go. All right, so we can see what it's done. If we go with in, this is what the logs come in looking like. And when I hit the out, this is what I've done to modify them. So some things I've done. I look at these logs and I go, you know what? One of the things that makes Splunk really useful is SIM compliant and if we accelerate the data. The other thing, but one of the things we're missing is Splunk wants a source type. I can see here I have a host, I have a source, but I don't have an index and I don't have a source type. So down here, if we expand this, we can see I made an index. How did I do that? I said add function, eval. I can look at my stuff and search through it, but I want an eval field. I hit eval, and that brings me up this little eval. I'm going to close it. I don't need this. Delete. Yep. And we'll come to this eval, and I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to put index in the name field and double quotes, and then I'm writing it to the Zeek index. Just by doing that, all of a sudden when I go over to my out, we'll now have an index called Zeek. That's how that eval works. Cool, I got that done. This is all JSON. Can I serialize it? That would make things really nice. Sorry, before we do, let's get a source type in there. So what I end up having to do, these actually don't contain, if I look at these, it's unfortunate there's nothing here that allows me to tell what kind of source type it is from the field. So this is a weird log. This is we can tell it's a files log. The only thing we've got is this files log. So we're going to do another eval statement. This time we're going to filter and say source double equals single quote, and I'm going to put that weird log in there. Just copy that, paste it in, and this means this eval function will apply to anything that meets this criteria. So the weird logs. And then I write here source type equals bro weird. Now I have added, by doing that, the source type fills out. Source type equals bro weird. If I don't have all my source types, notice I had to write each one. Here's SMB, LDAP. When you go to Splunk, you'll get a TCP cooked as your source type. That's okay, but you'll want eventually to have the source type working. So what you do is you just look at those logs, see which ones you're missing, and just add them. And so ultimately, I've just added every one of these Zeek logs. boom, 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 and so that they're all sourced. Now the next thing I do, so I've got all my source types working. Next thing I want to do is I want to take this JSON here and extract the stuff. I want to be able to extract these fields so that I can make it accelerated. Anybody who uses data models and acceleration knows that you'll get a lot faster speed. So I want to parse. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to put in parser, add function, parser, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick. I leave almost all these fields default. What do I want to parse? I can parse CSV, extended log, common log, key value, JSON, delimited, regular expression, grok. Mine's a JSON object, so I'll just leave it at that. And I don't need to do anything else because it's just going to pull them apart as pairs. If I was doing a CSV, let's do this. I'll do an add function, parser, CSV. I would do CSV and then I'd list my fields. So I know my first field is TS, press enter. The next field is UID, so I do that, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things you can do when you do a CSV format, notice I got this ID org H, that is the source IP, if you're familiar with the SIM compliance. So I could actually do SIM, write it, if it's the third column, I could just call it out and give it its name so it's SIM compliant. So you don't have to follow the headers in your CSV, you can name them anything you want. This goes to the first field, second field, third field. Now we're using JSON, so that won't help us much, but I just wanted to make sure you were aware. But in our parsing fields, so we don't have the fields, we're fine. I want to keep all these fields. If I want to get rid of them, I could do that. And then instead of being able to do that, I have to rename. So I do a single tick, ID org H becomes source IP, ID response H becomes dest IP, ID org underscore P becomes source port, dest port. If I do that, that renames the fields. And you can see this as it's expanded. I don't have org, okay, in the in out, I have these fields. But if I go to out here, the fields have been renamed to be dest IP, dest port, source IP, source port. So they're now SIM compliant. So they can go into your data models really, really quick. Now the last piece I want to do is let's reduce down some of these logs that are going in. I've got all these things extracted. Do I need all those fields back here? Probably not. So I'm going to serialize and I'm going to write whatever fields I want back in there. If I want all these fields back in the raw log, I can put them back in there, but I don't need them. There's some pros and cons to putting them back in there. I'm hoping you can figure out some of the pros. One of the cons is when you search, as a general rule, your data is going to look for these sources. So you have to be, if you want to search these fields, instead of saying source IP, in this case, I have a source IP and a dest IP. But let's say I don't keep source port. If I want to use source port in Splunk, I will have to write source port : that field. You can't write source port equals. When you use the equals field, it's going to look through the raw logs. If you use : it's going to look through these are called the T-stats. It goes into a special, this is the accelerated fields. And so in order to search them, you use the : But that's not really the point of this. I'll do a video on searching those. But you choose what you want to serialize back in, and away you go. That's all I've done. I just put some indexes in with an eval. I made my source types right here, and I did parser. Now, just so you're aware, I did this all from scratch, but you can actually come to the knowledge packs. Let's go ahead. I don't need to save any of this. So we come to packs. Cribl has already set stuff for you if you want to. We can add a pack from what they call their dispensary. And they have a whole bunch of different types of logs. So for example, maybe you're using Windows. You don't need to parse them. They've already gotten taken care of. If you're using Sentinel, Palo Alto, QRadar, Cisco ASA, Gigamon, all these things are already set up, so you don't have to do them yourself. Checkpoint, Google. Anyway, and you download those will automatically parse the logs for you following a general format. You can modify them later. But anyway, it makes things really easy, very valuable. Hope this is helpful. Hope this helps demystify the log process of getting some of these logs in and help you move to more lane. and less pain. And hope you like this. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if this has been useful. I also have special videos for members. I highly encourage it. It helps make this channel grow and keep me coming back making these videos. Join as a member and you'll get a whole bunch of other perks to this. Anyway, hope it's been helpful and hope you keep coming back. Talk to you later.